Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. Financial Stability Board to extend its work on stablecoin risks in emerging and developing economies. I feel like, stablecoins are what everybody is focusing on. And last week in Toronto, members of the Global Financial Stability Board body discussed areas that warrant further attention. So this is what's happening now, okay, the Financial Stability Board, which I did talk about, by the way, briefly in this morning's video. I will link this morning's video up here in the top right-hand corner. I feel like these videos can go hand in hand. When I was doing the research this morning, I was noticing some connections between what I talked about this morning and what I'm going to be talking about today. So here it is, guys. The Financial Stability Board, which monitors the global financial system for systemic risk, said it will undertake further work on the challenges posed by stablecoins in emerging and developing economies. The decision was taken during a meeting in Toronto of the FASB's plenary, the sole decision-making body for the standard setting and advisory organization, according to a Friday statement. A stablecoin is a cryptocurrency whose value is pegged to another asset, such as the dollar or gold. And the FSB has been one of the main architects of global crypto policy. Last year, along the International Monetary Fund, it framed a joint policy paper on crypto, warning against implementing blanket bans to mitigate risks associated with the sector. At last week's meeting, the FSB members discussed areas that warrant further attention in the crypto sector. And guys, here's a quote. In the emerging market and developing economies, crypto assets pose particular challenges for monetary policy and capital flow management, the FSB said. Members discussed the challenges posed by the relatively higher levels of adoption and risks of global stablecoin arrangements in EMDEs. The FSB will undertake further work to consider how these challenges can be addressed. So the work is continuing, tirelessly. People are working behind the scenes to figure out how we, regulate this and how we can create an environment where, maybe we can, at the same time as, this is just a theory, but, at the same time as the controlled demolition occurs, if, they do decide to collapse the system, how can we make it so that people don't feel totally 100% screwed? How do we make it so that we soften the blow even after we've just delivered it? And, stablecoins are definitely going to play a part in this. Now, I also think that because, other things are happening around the world like this, which I will play you guys this clip in a sec, the Western world realizes we have to figure something out and figure it out fast. Let me play you guys this clip from Subjective Views of Vladimir Putin discussing, these new digital platforms that they're building. Listen to this.
The fifth structural transformation is about a genuine digital platform-driven revolution amid the current environment. Labor productivity is directly related to digitalization and the use of AI. By 2030, we need to build digital platforms across all the key economic industries and also social sectors. These tasks are going to be addressed within the framework of the Data Economy National Project. I would like to add that within the next 6 years, no less than 80% of Russian organizations in the key industries should transition to Russian software in production and management. To support the IT sector, we are going to come up with a whole range of measures, including a higher rate of expense for Russian digital software and digital solutions when calculating the corporate tax. Also, there's going to be a lower corporate tax rate of 5% for Russian IT companies, which will be in force until 2030 inclusive.
2030, that key date. And you can see here Vladimir Putin discussing how Russia is going to react specifically, but also creating incentives for, Russian IT and software companies to really be able to thrive in this new economy, this new emerging economy. So wanted to thank Subjective Views for posting that. Michael Branch also bringing this to our attention. Okay, so stablecoins, guys, seems like the central focus here. Stablecoins would help the U.S. keep up with China. This was coming from former House Speaker. The need for the U.S. to implement dollar-backed stablecoins couldn't be timelier as China continues to come up with its own solution, says Paul Ryan. United States dollar-pegged stablecoins could alleviate the government's debt crisis and help the country's dollar keep up with the Chinese yuan, which has been flexing its muscle in international trade. Here is a quote. The U.S. is headed towards a predictable yet avoidable debt crisis. I would have thought that would say unavoidable, but avoidable debt crisis. The dollar-backed stablecoins are one answer to keep the dollar attractive, argued Paul Ryan in the June 13th Wall Street Journal opinion piece. Ryan served as the 54th Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives from 2015 to 2019. The Speaker of the House is considered one of the most powerful positions in U.S. politics. Here's another quote. There would be an immediate, durable increase in demand for U.S. debt, which would reduce the risk of a failed debt auction and an attendant crisis. By the way, Ryan does now serve as a policy council member at cryptocurrency-focused venture firm Capital Paradigm. So, it's all coming together here, right? The $162 billion stablecoin market already provides a huge source of demand for U.S. treasuries, and its role in preserving the dollar's dominance couldn't be timelier. As you guys can see, even Brian Brooks was commenting on this. Stablecoins can keep the dollar the world's reserve currency. So, if you prop up the dollar by creating more stablecoins associated to the dollar, this could, in fact, help stave off a U.S. debt crisis. And here's the opinion piece just from the Wall Street Journal that I was talking about. I will link this in the description of the video for you guys. So it's interesting to see the shift here. Constructive disruption here saying, holy crap, that totally accurate take from the Wall Street Journal of all places. This is bigger than people realize. When the mainstream media starts figuring it out in the kind of capacity that we were, talking about all these years ago. Again, if you've been in this space since 2018 or 2019, like I've been, we were talking about this years and years ago, and we were just kind of biding our time. We were just kind of waiting for government to understand how important this was. And, even at that time, we were like, yeah, of course, XRP is going to go up in value once this all happens. We did not know. And again, this was before the beer flu. This was before all that stuff. We did not know it would take this long. We did not realize. I think a lot of us didn't realize how long regulations take in the real world. This is my first kind of foray into government regulation, the government regulation world. Before this, I just kind of went about my life and didn't really care. But, when you're invested in something that relies on regulation, you tend to pay more attention and you tend to do the research. So, this is now where we're at. Stablecoins obviously are going to play a large role in this. Even here it says stablecoins backed by the dollar provides demand for U.S. public debt and a way to keep up with China. So that is, I think, first and foremost, the U.S. wants to keep up with their competitors. And so we cannot be left behind. What better way to do this than to provide stablecoins to a new financial system? Again, just one of the ways we're going to do this. The other thing I wanted to bring up was Ripple's stablecoin. So, the world of stablecoins is going to be plentiful, I think. It's not going to be one stablecoin that rules them all. How is Ripple's stablecoin going to fit in? Well, Ripple's CEO confirms his company is already working with 10 governments around the world on CBDCs. A central bank digital currency is basically a stablecoin, as Brad Garlinghouse says here. Listen to this.
That is, Ripple has invested and is working with about 10 different governments around the world to do central bank digital currencies. I mean, a central bank digital currency is a stablecoin. It's just issued by the government.
That's basically the only difference. It is a stablecoin just issued by the government. So then the question becomes, do you really want to have a government issued stablecoin? And I mean, maybe we might be forced into using a government CBDC versus a private stablecoin. I don't know how it's all going to work, to be honest with you. I mean, if people have the choice to use, Ripple's real USD or a government CBDC, I would feel like people would want the flexibility. And so if governments around the world start to program their CBDCs so that you can only use them for specific purposes, well, then even more so, people are likely going to dump their CBDC for a stablecoin. So I'm still kind of questioning how this is going to get rolled out so that they can, trick the plebes, so that it's, easy for them to trick the plebes to, trust them. And maybe they will use the grand financial collapse to do just that. So Mr. Mann here also pointing this out. I've been telling you guys, CBDCs are simply stablecoins, and that's how the U.S. ends up with a CBDC stablecoin. The no CBDC bill means nothing in the long run. So another interesting perspective here, just kind of reiterating that same case. And so we are now looking at a level playing field with a digital SDR, banking as a service or the Finternet, RippleNet API, tokenization, anything of value, the XRP and real USD stablecoin. We've got the BRICS nations, Interledger, Hyperledger, and Overledger. Guys, everything is going to come together. I'm not going to play you guys every single one of these clips, but I will link this in the description of the video for you. Let's listen to former US President Donald Trump first talk about the gold standard.
Bringing back the gold standard would be very hard to do, but boy, would it be wonderful. We'd have a standard on which to base our money.
So one theory here, pretty controversial, if we do move back to a gold standard.
We note Jack Kemp's observation at that 1983 conference when he pointed out that any new system of formally maintained exchange rates among the world's currencies would need to choose a common reference point, an anchor. It could be a national currency like the US dollar. It could be a commodity like gold. Or it could be a supranational invention like the IMF special drawing right, the SDR. Bob Mundell gave his own view. He said, choosing a dollar standard would be like imposing English as a world language. Choosing the SDR, he said, would be like trying to impose Esperanto on the world trading community. Mundell said that a gold standard would be closer to the mark, in his words, given the significant gold holdings of central banks. Quoting Mundell, if all countries agreed to convert their currencies into gold at an agreed price, gold could serve in lieu of the SDR, and the international gold standard would provide the world economy with a common currency, unquote. Let me just say that I believe U.S. leadership can and should play a strong role in helping to build a new stable international monetary system to serve an open global marketplace dedicated to free trade and genuine competition. And if the next Bretton Woods conference takes place at Mar-a-Lago, great. Let's hope it's not too far in the future.
So an interesting perspective there from Judy Shelton. I know she was talking about some other concepts with regards to languages. She did discuss this other language called Esperanto, which I just learned about today, International Auxiliary Language. Esperanto is the world's most widely spoken constructed international auxiliary language. Created by Zamenhof in 1887, it was intended to be a universal language for international communication, or the international language. Zamenhof first described the language in Dr. Esperanto's International Language, which he published under the pseudonym Doctoro Esperanto. So that is news to me. And, we've also talked about the SDR, special drawing rights, perhaps the IMF creating an ESDR, which would include an international bridge currency. I mean, it would only make sense for there to be an international bridge currency that would be an XRP type coin. But we don't have any confirmation of that. All we do have are a lot of dots that do connect Ripple and XRP to these influential organizations that do have the power to make those choices. So, I mean, here we are, guys, in a world where changes are happening. Again, there are another couple of clips here just, talking more about the technology with Augustin Carstens here and another representative here, the former governor from the Bank of Japan. All this will come to a head when we do see that financial collapse, and when we do need to transfer to a new financial system. They're talking about this gold standard. Judy Shelton saying, hopefully this next Bretton Woods will happen at Mar-a-Lago, assuming, President Donald Trump will be the next president of the United States. Going back to the FASB, right? The Financial Stability Board that I was talking about at the top of this video, but also in this morning's video. Here's a document from Ripple from last year. It addresses the FASB's proposed guidance on fair value measurement for crypto assets. Now, I also did talk about this fair valuation for crypto assets happening in the latter half of this year. I'll see if I can find that video, and I will link it up here in the top right-hand corner. But here, this document, it highlights how this change will improve financial transparency by requiring companies to report crypto assets like XRP at their current market value rather than their historical cost. This shift aims to provide a more accurate reflection of a company's financial health and the true economic value of its crypto holdings. The document also discusses the potential for increased market competition and investor confidence as a result of these more transparent and realistic valuations. So this was just a document from Ripple pointing this out. Again, I will link this in the description. I don't have to go over this full document for you. What I do want to talk about, though, was this another clip here, courtesy of Mr. Mann, and also courtesy of Smoke, too. He turned me in the direction of FASB and the fair market value of crypto, finally enduring real competition and economic forces. Further evidence that, guys, apparently we're eyeing now December 15th, 2024. Crypto will find their footing in the market. So this begs the question, is this when we're going to see, crypto liquidity go up by December 2024. We're already going to be in that euphoria phase if past rallies are any indicator here. Getting us, let's call it from the top, from all-time high, retracing all-time high into December. That would bring us, let's call it somewhere in and around another 276 days from when we did hit all-time high, roughly, give or take. Well, we hit all-time high back here, and 276 days would bring us, somewhere in between these two peaks. Now, you guys got to remember this rally here was a little different. We had a double peak in the rally before. We did see something like this where it just went higher and higher. So let's just take a look at that rally for a second here. All-time high was in and around, get rid of that. All-time high was in and around here. And then 276 days would bring us, boom, really close there, right? So getting us really close to the top of the market, I guess when, the liquidity will really kick in, we will see these new highs by December of 2024, all going to this point here that, guys, we're going to see the true valuations of crypto unleashed. So possibly a real valuation for XRP. I want to play you guys this clip. Listen to this.
Exactly. Just to complement. So yeah, obviously, regulator can put in place a strong customer protection regulation, right, and framework. It can also make sure that there is competition, and it's the competition aspect and the good governance that will actually not only spontaneously take care of the user experience and of the prices. So, for example, one of the previous questions that we answered quickly, we don't specifically advocate for the regulator to come in and fix the prices, cap the prices. The assumption is that if there is competition, then the price will reach a market price, and the regulator does not necessarily need to intervene.
So will we find our footing? The market regulators will not have to intervene at that point. If we do see these real crypto prices finally valued at what they're supposed to be valued at, Smoke here, back from May the 29th, he did write this. XRP was cited as an example cryptocurrency with current valuation issues that will be directly impacted by new FASB updates. So this was documented. New FASB guidance could significantly increase reported value. And guys, here you have it. An example is Ripple and XRP. The new FASB guideline could significantly increase reported value. And because we are going to see a new financial system emerge out of this, what will that value be if we do have to move trillions of dollars? Of course, Ripple's created a stablecoin for this exact reason too, because the stablecoin will be part of this new financial system where XRP will be the bridge to transfer the real USD and other cryptocurrencies value across the chain. But that's just my opinion. I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.